In today's age of unparalleled communication capabilities and newfound freedom of speech, where we no longer fear being hanged or burned at the stake for voicing our experiences and resulting beliefs in most countries, we can now openly communicate and explore the many narratives of children who recall past lifetimes at tender ages, and adults uncovering books that demystify the most enigmatic events of their lives, all suggesting an orchestrated cosmic plan. These experiences and the beliefs emerging from them are often labelled under the umbrella term New Age, yet the prearranged lifetimes and entities returning to new bodies is far from new. It's a belief rooted deep in the ancient lands of Egypt and India, a belief that has been unearthed from the sands of time and has risen from graves through some of our very own experiences. The belief that our soul ventures beyond the confines of our physical existence, living multiple lives across epochs and cultures. This complex and captivating premise posits that each life we lead offers us the opportunity to learn and grow spiritually. Our experiences, victories and failures are not bound to a single lifetime, but are part of an ongoing, constantly progressing spiritual journey. This belief in this concept, far from being a concoction, has been a fundamental part of many philosophical and religious systems for thousands of years. Let's embark on a journey, a trip back in time to delve into these ancient origins. Our journey begins in the ancient civilizations, where this belief first took root. Ancient Egypt, with its unyielding belief in cycles of death and rebirth, held a deep reverence for the soul's journey after death, known as the Ka. This concept was integral to their understanding of the afterlife. Shifting to ancient India, this belief was and remains the crux of the Hindu religion. The Atman, or soul, is perceived as eternal, cycling through birth, death and rebirth, a process known as samsara. Actions from past lives, or karma, influence cycles with liberation or moksha as the paramount. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Pythagoras professed remembrance of his lives, and Plato discussed the after-death journey of the soul. The Greeks believed in metempsychosis, suggesting the immortality and rebirth in a new body post-death. These diverse perspectives converge on the belief in the cyclical nature of life and death. This belief, a soul's journey through multiple lives, was more than a belief. It was a paradigm for interpreting life and the enigma of death. From the Nile to the Ganges to the Aegean Sea, the belief saturated ancient life. These beliefs, deeply rooted in ancient cultures, continue to influence our understanding of life, death, and what lies beyond, even today. Moving forward in time, the concept of this idea finds its place in the pages of the Bible, albeit in a more subtle form. Though not traditionally associated with the Bible, there are verses that'll make you reconsider what the authors may have actually known or believed in their day. For instance, in Matthew it is written, "He answered and said, Elijah is coming and will restore all things. But I say to you that Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him." This implies Elijah returned not as a spirit, but reborn, indicating this idea. John 3 presents another example where Jesus informs Nicodemus, "Very truly I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again." While typically interpreted metaphorically, could it not also hint at a literal rebirth? The Bible also contains prophecies requiring specific tasks to be completed, such as Malachi's prophecy of Elijah's return. These tasks suggest a spiritual continuum, reflecting the concept of pre-life planning, a re-entering of spirit of a karmic nature, the true definition of reincarnation. Despite the traditional disbelief in this idea, the biblical text presents compelling hints. The spirits returning to fulfill prophecies aligns with this idea. This challenges traditional interpretations, opening fascinating discussions on life, death, and rebirth as conveyed in the Bible. So the next time you read these ancient texts, consider the possibility of a deeper, more esoteric understanding of life, death, and what lies beyond. The echoes of ancient Egypt can be felt in many of our modern beliefs, including the concept of this philosophy. Ancient Egyptians held a belief in the afterlife, a recurring cycle of death and rebirth. This idea, a forerunner to this philosophy, was central to their spirituality. They believed through death, the soul, or ka, separated from the body and lived on. The ka would then start a new life in a new body. This cycle was deemed essential for spiritual growth and attaining a higher existence. These beliefs permeated beyond Egypt, influencing other cultures and faiths, including Hebrew. The Hebrew scriptures hint at life after death, a concept possibly inspired by Egyptian mythology. Christianity, rooted in Hebrew faith, also reflects this ancient Egyptian belief. The Christian concept of resurrection mirrors the Egyptian ka, returning to a new form. Some interpretations of Christian texts suggest that Jesus may have supported the idea of this philosophy. The Gospel of John, for instance, alludes to the prophet Elijah's return as John the Baptist, suggesting a soul's journey through multiple lives. It's intriguing how these ancient stories have influenced the spiritual understanding of later cultures. The threads of this philosophy, woven into the tapestry of ancient Egyptian mythology, have influenced many faiths, both ancient and modern. Their echoes can still be heard today, resonating through our modern beliefs, reminding us of our spiritual roots, once intentionally buried under the desert sands during crusades and other religious factions' attempts to control the world. In our contemporary world, the belief in this notion continues to thrive in various forms. This belief, rooted in ancient traditions, has woven itself into the tapestry of today's societies. Particularly in the East, this notion is a key principle in religions like Hinduism and Buddhism. The cycle of birth, death and rebirth, known as samsara, as an unending circle of existence broken only by spiritual enlightenment. Conversely, Western religions often sidestep this notion, favoring a linear perspective of life. But an increasing number are investigating this notion within the scope of New Age spirituality. This is spurred by the quest for self-realization and spiritual evolution. A modern curiosity with this notion is past life regression. Through hypnosis, individuals recall past life experiences to resolve issues or understand life patterns. The unexpected life experiences and resulting work of Dr. and author Brian Weiss in this field is fascinating and became quite well known after appearing on Oprah telling his compelling story. Another notable, highly educated and well-respected doctor who was also shocked to stumble across the reality of past life regression and therapy that cured mental and even physical ailments is Dr. Michael Newton, both of whom I'll link audiobooks about their lives and work in the upper right-hand corner of your screen and at the end screen of this video. However, hard scientific proof for this notion remains elusive. Yet anecdotal evidence and case studies pique interest. For example, Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist, researched children who claimed to remember past lives. His work, though disputed, has enriched the dialogue. This notion today merges ancient wisdom and modern interpretation. It's a concept that crosses religious lines, prompting us to consider life, death, and what follows. It alters our view of reality and sparks awe about our existence. Whether you believe in this notion or not, the concept continues to captivate the human imagination. Our exploration of this thought has taken us through the annals of history, across cultures and civilizations. We've traced this captivating belief back to ancient Egypt and India. We've ventured into the ambiguities of the Bible, finding glimpses of this thought in tales of resurrection. We've seen many Bible believers unknowingly embrace this concept, woven into their faith. Ancient Egypt's influence on Hebrew and Christian narratives is undeniable, showing the unity of our human stories. We've considered this thought in our present world where it isn't popular or glorified, but when you experience the evidence enough, the reality of the pre-planned arrangements of experiences and karma brought on from previous lifetimes becomes undeniable, a concept as fascinating now as it was millennia ago. The belief in this thought, as old as civilization itself, continues to raise intriguing questions about our existence and the journey of life. Stay tuned and subscribe for the next chapters and what was pre-planned for some of us to find and know in this lifetime. Until next time, when we continue the remembering.